Every bike-related channel on YouTube seems to do one of those Walmart bike torture test videos or some variation on that idea. And I love those videos. Like, they're a ton of fun to watch. They're like a guilty pleasure thing for me. But they never seem to explain why those bikes don't hold up to any kind of real abuse. So I want to go over that in this video. So first up, let's look at one of those department store bikes.
This mongoose is exactly the kind of bike that you see in the Walmart bike torture test videos. I'll be the first to say that it's not a real BMX, but that doesn't mean that it's worthless. It looks like a BMX, but if you look at things like the quill type stem, how the bars are leaned back, the one-piece crank, and the thread on pegs, it's built and set up more like your average kid's bike. Of course, these bikes won't hold up to any kind of real BMX riding, but they're cool looking kids' bikes for younger kids who won't do anything crazier than hopping a curb or maybe trying a wheelie. These bikes cost around $100 Canadian new and last a year or two tops, and really you get what you pay for with these.
So now we're going to take a look at a real BMX, something that's, from a bike shop quality brand that's built to take some actual abuse.
The Haro Midway is a great bike, and in my opinion, it gives you the best bang for the buck of basically any complete out there. This bike might look similar to the last one at a distance, but everything is different up close. The frame is built to use sealed bearings and is spaced out for a taller rider. All the components are built with better materials and beefed up by comparison, like the 3-piece crank and the top-load stem. The biggest feature of this bike is the free coaster wheel set, which opens up all kinds of trick possibilities. Even the seat on this bike is BMX specific and it really completes the look. Bikes like this cost a few times more than department store bikes, but are a more long-term investment.
Last, we're going to look at the compromise, the middle ground. BMX bikes really don't have a ton of resale value, so that means you can get some really crazy bikes on the used market for really low prices. The bike we're about to look at is another Haro. It's a bit older, but it's really high-end. I got it for very little money, and it's actually even got some features that the modern Haro we looked at doesn't have.
This is the Haro Forum Pro Lite, which was Haro's top shelf complete back in 2009. It's older, but I picked it up super cheap used on Kijiji, and it's in nearly new shape. All I've changed is the pedals and stem because I didn't really like the original ones, but it's basically perfect other than that. It doesn't have the free coaster, but it's 100% chromoly, all of the bearings are sealed, and it's got a bunch of aftermarket Odyssey parts right out of the box. This bike feels like riding a brand new BMX. Used bikes like this sometimes take a little bit of work to get going, but it's pretty easy to find a super high quality bike that retail for nearly or over $1,000 for under, say, $250 or so. For the most part, there's no such thing as a bad bike. Every bike has its purpose, and there are good options to suit every budget.